Hello, welcome back, Spiffers. It's good to see you again. It's me, Jamie Woodhouse from SaaS Educators. Hope you're all doing well. Hopefully, this isn't repetitive. I'm finding that I start all of my videos very similarly, but I guess that's YouTube, right? You got to have your catchphrases to kind of welcome everybody in. Anyway, hope you're enjoying your March, and hopefully we're getting some better weather out there. I am in the heat or in the middle of March Madness. I am a massive March Madness fan. For those of you who don't know what March Madness is, it's college basketball here in America, college basketball playoffs. It's really awesome. I'm a huge basketball fan, and it's always fun looking for the Cinderellas and seeing the upsets and hoping my team makes it all the way. So anyway, hope you guys are having fun. We're continuing on today with our what if rule that we've created. And I've got links in the description of the first couple of steps or days that we did for videos. This is the final one. So if you haven't watched the other ones, go to the description and watch those in order to kind of catch up to see where we're at. But what if rules are potential commissions, and we're doing the final step today. Actually, let's look at what the final step is today, just to kind of recap what we've done so far. And I always lose myself. So one second. It's funny with the software that I use, I found this little bug that if I don't do steps the exact same way, I kind of lose my video. And I've done that in previous videos, but didn't want you to just hear a disembodied voice. So got me back. Anyway, just recap what we've done so far with these what if rules to look at potential commissions is we actually started by defining the population, and then we created we created a data filter from that. That's the first step that we do within Spiff, Salesforce Spiff. Then we look to see if it goes to an existing plan or if a new plan needed to be created. We, if you remember, went to our existing YouTube example plan that we've been using on all these videos. And then we ask ourselves the payout rule. Do we need to create new payout rules? We definitely need to for the potential commissions, but is there an existing actual commission that we can just borrow and use it, or do we need to start from scratch? We did that last week. So the final thing that we get today is to finish up with the rep statement design. Another link I have in the description is also where I went into deeper detail into statement design. We've got a few videos that really go into detail. I'm going to try and keep this 5-minute tip really short and sweet to 5 minutes. So we'll kind of go through this a little quick. But now that we've got our plan in Spiff Designer and we've got our 2 new payout rules, we have the potential one, which is the what if rule that is kind of the goal, but we also just utilized the calculations that we created to create our actual or our new deal. So we're going to have both of these show up on the statement. So to create our statements here, I'm going to go to March, even though that's March 2024, we're in March. So I like staying in the month that we're in. And we're going to Ava's statement because she is the one of the individuals, one of the reps on the YouTube example plan. So when I look so far with her, evidently I haven't recalculated Marches in a while, so I'm going to do that so I can at least get data to populate. Notice the first thing that we have, I'm going to try and find the best place to put myself. The things that we have are the payout rules, and notice that any of the new payout rules just get added to the bottom. What I always like to do before I start designing is I always like my potentials or my what if rules to be up at the top, my motivational things to be kind of at the top of our statement. I just like how it reads a little bit better. So I'm going to get into edit mode, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my potential new deal and put it to the top. And since new deal goes right with it, I'm just going to have that secondly. All right. Notice how it puts it under the adjustments and draws. I always like the adjustment and draws to be at the very, very top. So if I ever do those on a month, reps will be able to see that very quickly. But I like how this kind of flow has where we've got our potential things. Now, if I start getting a lot of rules and I want to see the potential of a lot of different rules, then you might want to group them together. So you might have them kind of interspersed. But I like how this looks right now. All right. But the first thing we're going to look at is the potential new deal, where it just gives us, every time we start with a brand new payout rule, it just gives us the external ID of the record and the actual commission. And notice that it calls it potential commission. That's not actually from the name, even though we called ours potential new deal commission. It's just a standard. When you see what if rules, it's going to call it potential commission, where if you see actual commissions in green, it just calls it commission. That's just kind of how it works. So what I want to do is get into edit mode here. And when I'm in edit mode, I can go ahead and edit these columns. And I don't like having the external ID, doesn't help anybody. And the potential commission is definitely going to be there. But what I like to do with this one is I'll do like I did with the data sheet. I don't have to match it, but it just kind of works well for me. I got my deal name. I got my close dates. I got my ARR. And then I want to do my commission rate so that it's a little bit easier to read. So I've got my new deal commission rate that I want to include as well. All right, potential commission, I always like it at the end. And it looks like it's in the order that I like. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that. And it will go ahead and populate. Notice how it always brings up that message saying that there are some potential things like this close date and deal name that I need to recalculate and refresh to pull. So I'm going to get out of edit mode. I'm going to go ahead and recalculate and move myself in a better place, hopefully, and refresh. All right. And that will give me all of my deal names and the dates that they're coming, so that they kind of know the future of if I close these. The hard part about this is, hopefully they understand close date as a potential close date, because it does tell me that when I mouse over this, that this is a hypothetical and not actual. And so hopefully they're going to be able to understand that this is a potential close date, but they can kind of read through and see all of these. And again, just like we've done with our other statements, if I am a sales rep and I want to go, oh, this one's closing in March, let me see if I can close it in February instead. I'm going to go ahead and click on it, and I can actually drill into the details that are in here and actually view a little bit more information that's on this. And I can actually trace through with my trace button to actually dive into how this commission will get calculated once I actually close that. It's nice for them to be able to kind of dive in and to be able to see the information instead of having to flip back and forth between Salesforce. Some key metrics and data I might want to show how they're doing against their quota so far. I've created that in other cases. I can just go ahead and add that here as well. I mean, I do have the attainment and just has the attainment there, not my quota. So maybe it would be good to add it here. So I can go ahead and just add my metrics, and I'm just going to look at my quota. I have an existing YouTube quota that I created before. and I can apply it here. And then I can compare that to my actual here. But I can actually include that down here as well, and just play around with that with the statement design. But again, that's kind of just the final pieces, is to create a nice story. I call it tell your best story, or tell a better story, to help answer all of your proactively answer your sales reps' questions, so that they can see all of those things and build those. If you want to see how I built some of these summary calculations, go back to some previous. I'm getting too many links in my description, so I'm going to keep it limited to the what if, but you can go back to past videos and be able to see those with datasheet calculations and worksheet calculations. Just search for those videos and you'll be able to see how we created all of those calculations. But that's looking pretty good. It's pretty empty, but I don't really need a whole lot there. The main thing I really want to give them is a way to be able to say, oh, I've got some potential commissions, and I can actually see and drill into. I could even sort this ascending to see, or descending to see, what my highest possibilities are, and just kind of work my way down to motivate myself to, as a sales rep, to close whatever of my highest deals that I can close. All right. So the final thing that we would need to do is, since we added the actual in here as well, is just do the same thing with this one. I'm actually not going to bore you with doing the exact same, but you get the idea. You'll want to make sure and set up or design both of these. And I would have the same data points in both, so that they can kind of see how they tie. One last thing that I did want to mention, I don't have the availability to show you here, but the nice thing about having this potential new deal and this new deal side by side, and having all the logic the same, the only thing different is the population or the data filter, is every night Salesforce Spiff is going to sync new data from Salesforce. So just let your reps know that when they are closing things within Salesforce, if they go to Spiff right away, they're not going to see that move from the potential new deal down to the new deal until after the next sync, which happens every night. I think there is a way to request through support if you need it updated more times throughout the day, but that's pretty rare. Usually nightly works pretty well. And so just let your sales reps know, all right, we've got this potential commission. You can see these. Just know that when you close a deal in Salesforce, it's not going to actually move from the potential to the actual until the next sync happens, which is the next day. But it's really nice, because the reps can start seeing that in kind of in a daily manner, and the Spiff statement becomes a living and breathing thing that they actually look at throughout their weeks and throughout their days, instead of just looking at the end of the month to see what their commission is. They can actually look at it every day, see how things are moving. It really motivates them and gets them in a happier place. And that's what we like, right? Is happy sales reps. So that's it for the what if potential commission from start to finish. And that's the other thing that I hope worked well for everyone, is to kind of see this process. It's a repetitive process that you kind of get used to. When you have new ideas or new commissions or different things like that, you just work through the process. You create the population with the data filter, you create the plan and payout rule in Designer, come back to the statement and finish it out, rinse and repeat. And that's how kind of the flow of everything when you're designing in Designer or building things within Salesforce Spiff, that's what you follow. All right. Go to SaaSeducators.com. There's a link in the description below. Just finished up our class in San Francisco, but coming to more cities as we finish out the spring season. I haven't talked about Lehi, Utah. It's very close to Salt Lake City, Utah. Those of you who are not in Utah are just like, what in the world is Lehi? I know Salt Lake. Lehi is kind of the tech hub of Utah now. It's kind of crazy. This small little farm town has turned into this really cool tech hub in Utah. So those of you in Utah, I'm in Utah, come join me. We have a fun time seeing each other. There is early bird pricing that's online right now. And so take advantage of the discount. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your week. We'll see you next week.